Hello and welcome to In Focus. My name is Anna Jabłońska. Together with our reporters, we have prepared stories about individuals that make a difference in this world. Today, I would like to begin with science. Last week, some of the brightest minds in Polish science gathered in Warsaw, where the Foundation for Polish Sciences held a ceremony to launch its new program. Researchers in a range of fields from cancer vaccines to quantum physics received grants that will allow them to develop the technology of the future and maybe even change the world.
In one of Warsaw's most picturesque villa districts, we find this building, home to the Foundation for Polish Science. Since its inception in 1991, the foundation has spent over 1.5 billion zloty to fund more than 12,000 scholarships and over 500 research teams. And now it's going international.
Foundation for Polish Science now opens a new program called International Research Agendas. The name is confusing a little bit, however, the aim is to create Center of Excellence in Poland. Centers of excellence, of scientific excellence in Poland, meaning we want to create a significant critical mass in several selected centers in Poland, where we fund research projects which will be managed and operated by specialist special units where we hire excellent scientists. We want to show the society that science is crucial for solving current problems. Not only current problems as security, health, but also for future, for development of technology, of innovative economy in Poland, for future jobs, for growth, and so on.
Just look at any everyday device, like an iPhone, and see how many scientific achievements are packed into the patents that makes its manufacturing possible. We rarely ever talk about it, and when we do, we use words nobody understands. It is our job to convince society that what we do is beneficial, and I hope in 5 years, this will be the conclusion of our program. We will prove that the European funds we received were a good investment.
Grants were awarded to 7 research projects in different fields. Meet Professor Marek Trzonkowska and her team from the International Center for Cancer Vaccine Science in Gdańsk.
Our team is multidisciplinary and international group. And usually it happens that such a different people with different expertise meet together. It results in interesting ideas. And I hope that the algorithm we develop is one of these ideas.
I'm from India, and basically I came from Italy to Poland since 6 years ago to do this cancer vaccine science. And my major task is to find the new antigen discovery. So maybe you will ask, what is new antigen? So this new antigen is very crucial for the cancer immunotherapy development. And this new antigen are the specific to the cancer. And that's why they are unique to the cancer, and we wanted to find them, we wanted to characterize them and use them to tell our immune system to recognize this cancer and at the end kill the cancers.
We know how to recognize in the cancer patient's blood the lymphocytes which can kill the cancer. And with the special equipment we are able to pick up these cells from the patient blood to the laboratory plates and culture them, expand them. It means multiply to big numbers so they can be used as the anti-cancer drug, as therapy. So the SWIFT project will be a kind of catapult that will enable us to take this therapy and start it in the clinics and start the clinical trial phase 1.
So transcriptional memory is a phenomenon when cells treated with a certain cue will next remember this experience, and when exposed to the same signal again will behave differently. And I want to use this in a cell therapy scenario to be able to design a new therapy against lung cancer.
we have basically two main goals in this project. We want to translate the basic science research to the clinical practice. So we want to implement the therapy of lung cancer that we already developed in our center into clinics. And the second goal is to constantly develop this therapy to make it more efficient and resistant to cancer response to that treatment.
The criteria of selection in particular, they are focused on the personality of the principal investigator, on the person who is the chair of those centers, of those units. And they present their autonomous ideas, what to develop, what to present for the proposal. And so the evaluation of their specific achievements and ideas, the main criteria of this call. That's why we have personalities today who are renowned worldwide.
Another avenue of research that could one day improve healthcare services involves mRNA technology. Professor Marta Mączyńska is one of Poland's most decorated scientists. The world's brightest minds are lining up to join her team at International Institute of Molecular and Cell Biology.
The project RACE Prime is built upon two research platforms, focusing on RNA and cell biology. RNA, that's the molecule we've all heard about during the pandemic. And now this is an upcoming era of RNA, not only as a vaccine, but also as a drug, as a therapeutics against different diseases. And in our project, we would like to create very advanced models for rare diseases, but also to develop therapies against viral and bacterial infections that are based on RNA. You know, sometimes discoveries, especially discoveries leading to drugs being on the market, take many years, even a couple of decades. Sometimes there are serendipitous discoveries that develop very fast into drugs. Sometimes some drugs result from discoveries made decades ago. So, well, true science is really unpredictable.
2 of the 7 projects awarded by the foundation are connected to quantum physics.
They told us we could use props, and I happen to have a prop relevant to my project here with me. It's the space between you and me. What's in here? Well, a bunch of atoms that vibrate, allowing you to hear me talk and allowing me to hear you laugh. But most of all, this space is filled with signals, carried by electromagnetic waves. What we are trying to do is to detect the signals carried on these electromagnetic waves, identify them, measure them, and learn something new about them. Together with Central Office of Measures in Warsaw, we want to build a quantum pattern of resistance which will work in low magnetic fields.
Probably you know that who controls materials controls technology. We are focusing on a special class of materials, so-called topological materials, which many people believe will be very important in quantum information, and they are already very important in quantum meteorology. For instance, to build good quantum resistance standards or ampere standards, we use topological materials.
In quantum physics, which is represented in 2 of the centers in Poland, is really a Polish specialty, I would say, in this particular fields, in this particular agendas, because they show not only the way to develop knowledge, and develop the scientific excellence, but also to go towards the application of the technology, quantum physics.
Probably many people heard about quantum physics and are excited about existence of that, but probably it is a little more harder to understand what it's about. But we have to realize that we use quantum mechanics already for existing computers, and existing computers will not work if quantum mechanics is not there. But we go further and want to use another principle of quantum mechanics to accelerate our calculations, to accelerate discovery of new material, to accelerate discovery of new medical treatments and medical drugs. So quantum information is believed to be a very important way to compute in future things with which we have troubles now, like predicting new materials, as I mentioned already.
The criteria of selection for international scientific agendas are very tough. We got lots of applications and we are happy about that, happy about the interest in the Polish society, in the Polish scientific community. However, we were able only select a few. So next year, that will be another opportunity to meet and we talk about the new centers, because we intend to open again another call for proposal this summer.
Back in 1991, when the foundation was created, Polish scientists were eager to rejoin the international community. And after 30 years, we can safely say they've succeeded. I would like to thank the Foundation for Polish Science for this program, for international research agendas, because I think it's the beginning of important changes, the beginning of a new approach to science in Poland. And this is my wish for a future.
Poland has really increasing importance on the scientific arena, because we can offer very well equipped labs, excellent expertise in certain areas, and they simply know that while coming to those excellent labs in Poland, they can advance their career.
And now let's talk about history. Thousands of Poles gathered at the Polish cemetery on Monte Cassino on May 18th for the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Monte Cassino. Our reporter Kazimierz Łysiak visited the cemetery to show you why was this World War II battle so important for Poles and allies. Take a look at his report.
We are here at the cemetery of Monte Cassino. 80 years ago, about 20 nations fought here at one of the bloodiest battles of the Second World War. The ceremonies will begin shortly. We have thousands of people expected to come here to the ceremonies. And for Poles, this battle was very significant, as you will learn shortly. Let's go. This Polish cemetery is a monument to the sacrifice of Poles and their victory. Walking up the stairs, you can pass hundreds of their graves. Before the ceremonies begin, I'm here at the cemetery of Monte Cassino because I want to show you something. The Battle of Monte Cassino is very significant to many Poles, as many of them have relatives who actually fought and died here. So this particular grave, for example, belongs to a young man who fought here at Monte Cassino, a Pole, and it's a relative of my colleague from our newsroom who asked me to come here and take a picture. This only goes to show you how significant this place of battle is to many Poles, as thousands of them fought and died here at Monte Cassino. So the ceremonies will begin shortly. I want to also show you the pictures here from the top of the cemetery. You can see down below the ceremonies will be taking place momentarily, and you can also see the monastery, the abbey, towering over the entire mountain here. That's where the Poles fought. That's where they captured this abbey and gave this major victory to the Allies. Let's go see the ceremonies. The ceremonies gathered thousands of people, scouts, reenactors and military officials. The commemorations began with a Holy Mass and speeches by the presidents of Poland and Italy. Along with the ceremonies came the good weather. We've just had the speeches by the Polish President Andrzej Duda and the President of Italy, Sergio Mattarella. Now we are standing at a Polish cemetery, and Poles were the ones who actually managed to capture the monastery of Monte Cassino and turn the tide of battle in the Allies' favor. However, the battle was very much international in nature.
That's right. I mean, it was a joint, obviously, effort with the Allies, the Americans and Canadians and everybody. I believe this was the fourth attempt. It was a very hard battle, four attempts to try and get the Germans out of here, and it was the Poles that actually succeeded in doing that, and they raised the Polish flag over the abbey. So huge. I can't tell you how proud I am of the Polish people. You know, it was a huge effort. These soldiers, as I said before, they had been in Siberia. They were skin and bone. They had no energy. They had to be built up. General Anders, you know, helped them. They went to Palestine and places to train up and to build themselves up again. And to actually achieve what they did, immense, absolutely huge. Really, really proud of my family and of the Polish soldiers and the Polish nation, really. So I'm a proud Pole, really.
The ceremonies are the most significant because we have here the last remaining veterans, Polish veterans who fought at the Battle of Monte Cassino. They came here to honor their fallen friends and their brothers who fought here with them all these 80 years ago.
Every year I come here with my United States uniform, of which I am very proud, and always under this uniform is a Polish heart that is beating. So I come and salute my colleagues who were buried in here on the way to Poland that didn't make in here. And one of my dearest friends, Edek Edziusynowiec, is buried in here. He was 18 years of age.
Yes, we were afraid. We knew that we could die, but we knew that we had to capture it. We weren't there just to capture Monte Cassino. We wanted to reach the Polish borders as soon as possible, to come back to Poland, our homeland.
Right now you can hear the national anthem of Poland being sung here at the cemetery, and among those gathered here singing this anthem are 6 veterans, the last remaining veterans who fought here at Monte Cassino. This is why this ceremony is the most significant with them present here. They are singing in front of the graves of their friends who fought with them here at Monte Cassino. Now, the victory of the Allies here and the capture of the Abbey was crucial to the tide of war here in Italy, in the Southern Front, in Europe. That's why there are so many people here gathered in the thousands to commemorate these heroes who fought and died here at Monte Cassino. From Italy, for TVP World, Kazimierz Łysiak.
The Battle of Monte Cassino was one of the toughest and bloodiest battles that determined the outcome of World War II. Now let's dive into the world of art. Murals are not only a decoration, but above all, a story. They're also a unique way of passing on history and sharing it with future generations. This idea guided the creators of the murals showing artworks lost by Poland in World War II, which can be seen at the Polish seaside this summer.
Wystawa się nie odbędzie, or the exhibition will not open, is one of the slogans of this project. The reason is very simple, as you cannot show something that does not exist.
The ministry came with us with this very specific problem that they are quite recognizable, but still their work is sort of underground when you think about it. It's a result of our history, of course, that we have a special unit in the ministry that is tasked with popularizing the knowledge about the lost masterpieces and getting them back into our museums and other institutions. So a part of it was to let people know that there is such a unit, but also to present these masterpieces that come from the Pomeranian region specifically, to sort of popularize their image. So in case someone sees one of them, for example, on an auction abroad, which happens quite a lot apparently, that people just see it in the catalogue, and if they're familiar with the artwork, then they can get in touch with the ministry, and the ministry can start the diplomatic process of getting the artwork back.
Each art piece has its own identification number given by the Ministry of Culture and National Heritage, the database of art pieces lost in World War II.
The ministry provided me with a database of images, and I was free to choose from these images. They are all from the Pomeranian region. my key task was to present them in a new context. So when I was browsing through them, I was thinking about how to present them in a creative way, in a modern context. So, for example, I would choose a piece depicting a cat, so I could then put it in a missing pet poster. So part of it was because of the way I wanted to present it. But there were also masterpieces that the ministry specifically asked for us to include in the project, just because they are so valuable and they are so determined to get them back.
The majority of art pieces stolen during wartime can be seen only in black and white pre-war photographs.
We don't know how these masterpieces look like in color, most of them. From the start I knew that I will be working with black and white images, and some of them are oil paintings, which is quite tricky when you think about depicting them in water-based paint in such a large scale, of course, because some of them are really small and they have a lot of detail. And in fact, if we wanted to, we could paint it for another 2 years if we wanted to get into this much detail. So some of them are obviously simplified. I think the boar is one of them because you can really see the thick lines that are in the original masterpiece, and this translated really well into this technique.
A special team at the ministry is searching daily for lost objects on the domestic and foreign art markets.
Of course, this is all about the damage that has been done to Polish museums and Polish cultural heritage. But I think there is a fun twist to it, you know, the whole aspect of the ministry being like a detective unit and of these pieces being just really beautiful. I think it also creates a sense of nostalgia. The main theme of the project, which is that exhibition will not happen, there will be no exhibition. So I hope for people to realize that lost cultural heritage is not only the problem of the state, but also it's our collective loss, in the sense that I will not go to this exhibition, you will not go to this exhibition. So this is, I think, a Sunday trip to a museum that will not happen for all of us.
As these murals are displayed, they prolong the memory about the works lost as a result of World War II. Sharing these images and the knowledge of them is vital to recovering what was once lost.
What I feel is the most special about this project is this juxtaposition of contemporary media and lost masterpieces, because it's paper media, but there are also art compositions that depict themes from the digital world. So, for example, there's a reference to Instagram or YouTube, or all of these little prompts that we get on our computers when they don't want to collaborate, which is like file not found. And there's also a little note to the local community here in Gdynia, which is obviously the boar, because Gdynia is famous for its rampant wildlife. There are literally boars roaming the main streets of Gdynia. Our collaborators from the ministry reached out to us, and they were the ones to suggest it, that maybe we would want to engage the local audience more by putting a boar in the set.
The murals will be on display until September this year, so if you want to see them yourself, better plan for a trip to the Polish seaside quick.
The works of art which were confiscated, stolen or burned on Polish territory between 1939 and 1945 number hundreds of thousands. As a result of act of war, Poland suffered losses in cultural assets and work of art in the amount of approximately $4.7 billion. Now let's move on to the world of female tennis, where a Polish player, Iga Świątek, reigns supreme. Let's take a closer look at her story.
Iga Świątek is the best female tennis player in the world, and she's been holding the prestigious spot at the very top of the WTA ranking for over 100 days now. Her technique, abilities, and overall professionalism have brought her high praise throughout her whole career. but every great story starts somewhere. The road to the top was a long one, so let's take a look at where it all began. We are here in Raszyn, just outside of Warsaw. This is Iga Świątek's hometown. Let's take a look how it all started.
You could say I've been watching her from the very start of her tennis journey. And I have to say that many people who followed her career like I did saw her enormous potential very early on. But there's a long road from having potential to acting on it, and then getting to the very top. A lot of factors come into play here, and in the case of Iga Świątek, they all came together successfully.
No one can deny Iga's dedication and commitment. But is this all it takes to become a tennis superstar? The game's #1? We spoke to former tennis player turned coach Michał Dębek to better understand what it really takes to be the greatest.
It's about mentality, it's about physics, it's about technique. So it's so many things that you must have. You have to be also so consistent in what you do. When you are a tennis professional player, you have to show every day that you are able to win against the greatest tennis players. So consistency on the highest level is most important, I think.
Time and time again, Iga Świątek has shown us that she not only has what it takes to achieve greatness, but that she's willing to put in the work it takes to reach the top.
It's the hunger for more victories. She's not satisfied with the 4 Grand Slam tournament wins she has. She wants more. I'd say the sky's the limit for her. She could genuinely enter the Hall of Fame one day and join the superstar ranks.
Let's take a look back at 2020, when a then 19-year-old Iga told TVP what her goals and ambitions are.
My lifetime goal is to win all of the Grand Slam tournaments and to get a medal at the Olympics. That would be wonderful. It's a very high bar, but that's the way I do it. Those are the goals one should have.
4 years later, she's won 2 of the 4 Grand Slam titles. The US Open once and Roland Garros 3 times. All this in just 4 years. And she just keeps getting better.
Well, the thing is that Iga is every single year better. So for now, for example, points that she has in WTA ranking, that's actually her record, because it's almost 12,000 points. So even in 2022, she didn't have that much. So it shows that she's getting better and better every year.
So if this is where she is now, at the #1 spot, the top of the ranking, where can she go from here? We spoke with tennis legend Wojciech Fibak to learn what he sees in Iga's future.
There's no zero ranking. She's a top player. She's #1. It's difficult to improve it. The only possible question is, would she be as excellent, as phenomenal as she is on clay or hard courts on grass?
Wherever she ends up going, Raszyn will be proudly supporting her. The town makes its support for Iga very clear. Almost 2 years ago, the city unveiled a mural painted in her honor. The artwork covers the site of a local school to help inspire the youth with Iga's stellar achievements.
And suddenly, the best tennis player girl in the world was born in Raszyn. I mean, I see it sometimes that she was born in Raszyn. And I was saying in the 80s and 90s that one day will come that we will have a champion born in Poland.
From a small town to the top of the world tennis ranking, Iga Świątek continues her journey, and Rashin, her hometown, of course along with the entire country, continues to proudly support her. From Rashin for TVP World, Karolina Stolzman.
And with this, we conclude this edition of In Focus. Thank you for watching, and please stay with TVP World for all your latest news updates and comments.